Yeah. When you hit record, it tells me to say okay. And now I've said okay.
Okay, so weird stuff on three, two, one. Hey everybody, welcome to That's Weird Stuff, the show where we share the stories of the strange and bizarre. So over on our other channel, That's Good Stuff, we are gonna review or we have reviewed Adolescence at this time of this airing. So that's a Netflix show about a angry little boy. So I also have a story about the original angry little boy. So here we go. In the old kingdom of Bavaria, a teenage boy was found wandering the streets of Nuremberg. In the boy's possessions were two letters. The first started from the Bavarian border, the place unnamed, 1828. The letter was addressed to Captain von Wilsenig, and the writer stated that he had kept the boy in his home since he was an infant and taught him how to read and write in the Christian religion, but had never let him out of the house. The letter claimed Kasper wanted to be a cavalryman like his father and asked the captain to take him on or hang him. His choice. The second note seemed to be from his mother and named the boy as Kasper Hauser, son of a cavalryman who had died, although later analysis of the letters suggests the letters were written by the same person. The authorities examined Casper, who seemed to have very limited vocabulary, repeating the phrase, I want to be a cavalryman, in horse, horse. Casper seemed to be in good health, if not intellectually challenged, and so he was deemed a vagrant and sent to prison in Nuremberg Castle. Casper spent 2 months in the prison entertaining guests with his story, but refusing anything to eat other than bread and water. Casper claimed to have been raised in a dark room, given only rye bread and water to drink. Sometimes the water would taste bitter, and that would put Casper to sleep for a long time, waking to find his nails and his hair cut when he was back in the waking state. One day he was visited by a masked man who taught him to walk, write his name, and say the phrase, I want to be a cavalryman, in Old Bavarian. The masked man then brought Casper to Nuremberg. Casper was eventually adopted by the city and taken in by a schoolmaster named Frederick Dahmer, who educated the boy and who experimented on the boy with magnets, with Casper claiming that his body was attracted to the North Pole of a magnet, and a current of air proceeded from him. Casper seemed to flourish for a while with Dahmer's, becoming skilled at drawing until the troubles began. After being accused of or After being accused of being a liar by Dahmer, Casper was found in the man's cellar bleeding from his forehead. Casper had claimed that the masked man had returned and told him, "You still have to die before leaving Nuremberg." Casper was taken to live with the family of Johann Biberbach, a local authority. While at Biberbach's family's house, a gunshot was heard in Casper's room, where he was found unconscious and bleeding with a head wound. Casper claimed that he had fallen off a chair while trying to reach for a book and accidentally grabbed the pistol that had wounded him. No one believed him, as the wound did not seem consistent with the gunshot, and was again Casper was again moved to another schoolmaster in Ansbach, with Mrs. Biberback commenting that Casper was full of vanity and spite. A British noble took an interest in Casper and took him to Hungary when Casper claimed that his mother had been a Hungarian countess. However, any Hungarian roots seemed to be another lie from Casper. Finally, after quarreling with another schoolmaster, Casper was found with a deep chest wound, claiming to have been stabbed by a man who had offered him a purse. He urged the police to find the purse. In his words, while he was dying, was writing with pencil. Before he died, he eventually would die from that wound. When the police found the purse, they found a note written in a mirror writing. The note said, "Hauser will be or Casper will be able to tell you quite precisely how I look and from where I am. To save Hauser the effort, I want to tell you myself from where I come. I come from the blank Bavarian border on the river blank. Will even tell you the name MLO. Many believe that the note was written by Casper himself as it had misspellings and grammar errors. While there was many who believe that Casper's story has some truth to it, believing the boy could have been someone from the nobility, many see Casper as a swindler, with his last benefactor writing, Kasper Hauser is a smart, scheming codger, a rogue, a good-for-nothing that ought to be killed. A monument to Casper can be found in Ansbach with the words, Here lies a mysterious one who was killed in a mysterious manner. So, the story of Kasper Hauser, was he a mysterious one that came from that had to be hidden, kind of like the man in the iron mask, or was just he just a evil little boy? What do you guys think?
Does that have anything to do with like Casper the Ghost? That's all I kept thinking the whole time. Not
Not that
like
I know.
they took that and made it into a children's thing. Like, oh, Casper was, he was all right.
But this Casper was spelled with a K.
Oh, well, that's just wrong. I don't like that very much. I have no idea. Sounds bananas. It sounds like they just need to make a limited series on Netflix for this one for sure.
Probably.
Be an interesting watch. My logical explanation would be like a bipolar disorder, like different personalities or something. Or what's that? Dissociative personality disorder? That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Like
EID.
he just he like goes to someone else who's like self-harming and then thinks it was someone else. I don't know. That's like my best guess there, but I like the idea of some weird masked man slapping him and then he's like, I swear he was there.
I don't know. I was gonna ask the Casper thing as well. Um, I honestly don't know. The whole time I was like, "What?" And then I
Got
don't
weirder
know.
and weirder.
Yeah,
Just seemed
it sounds like a JoJo's life, like a JoJo Bizarre Adventure life. Like Dio was messing with him the whole time. I don't know. It's weird.
So I at first I was like, okay, this is just like an intellectually challenged young man because they do have a tendency to harm themselves when they get frustrated. But then when you read about the people who knew him and stuff, they all agree he was kind of smart
yeah.
and he was like cunning and he was like a schemer. So I don't know. Maybe he just got caught in too many lies. And then when someone did attack him, no one believed him because he was always lying. So
I
no
do
one
like
would
that.
help.
I do like that note he wrote. He's like a dashing, sexy rogue, just handsome.
Yeah, a mysterious one. So the
Casper with a
nobility
K.
thing, they always like linked them to this like house in Germany that was a powerful nobility house. But they actually did like DNA testing in like I think it was like 2024 or something. It's pretty recent, and they did it, and they concluded that he wasn't from that house. But it didn't say he wasn't from some other nobility, it's just not that house. So he could
Is
still.
that the researchers being cheeky? Like he's not that noble, but
Maybe. I don't know. It's a weird story, but maybe like it was so weird that they just couldn't figure it out back then, so they just weird not enough weird stuff happened to them back then. So when something did weird happen, they were just like, this guy was a rogue. He was a crazy prince or something.
Also for him to be like thought of as smart by everyone else, but lived in like a single room for ages and could barely say words or anything. Like, that's weird.
Yeah, I think they said that someone who grew up like that probably couldn't
There's a weird
walk
gap
and
there of logic.
yeah. Maybe it wasn't as bad as he made it sound. Maybe it was a normal room, but
did you live off of bread and water? Just bread and water?
that's
What
I
bread?
guess
Guess if he didn't
rye.
know
He
anything
says rye
else.
bread.
Oh yeah, it was right.
That would suck. You know what's weird is when he's in prison, he wouldn't eat anything other than bread and water. You think you're in prison and like people think you're special? You think you'd be asking for some better food, like give me some meat and stuff.
What's your last meal? I want a slice of bread, please, and to dip it in water.
Just a nice piece of rye. All
Today,
right.
tonight's raisin bread. He's like,
Oh,
ooh.
hello. He's like, sir, that is way too fancy. I'll just take
That's a little too rich. It's too
I'll just
rich.
take some wheat, please. All right. So that's what do you guys tell us what you guys thought of the Kasper Hauser story and what your theories are. And like, subscribe, and notify yourself for even more good stuff. And we will catch you at next time. Bye.